Welcome to Over the Top Rope with the Masked Saint. Have you ever messed up in life and wondered if you could make a rebound? I'll tell you what I mean. I'll never forget wrestling in Dallas, Texas one night against Iceman King Parsons. He was actually the first black world heavyweight champion, and I was excited about working against him, and I got to tell you, I stunk up the ring that night. I mean, it was one of the worst matches I think I have ever had. I was terrible. Well, the next night, I was supposed to wrestle the junior world heavyweight champion, flamboyant Eric Embry, at the War Memorial Coliseum in Jackson, Mississippi. And I got to tell you, I was nervous. All day long, I kept going over everything I'd learned. I tried to think about my training. I went over everything I knew about wrestling from the time I left Texas until I got to Jackson, Mississippi. Well, I wrestled Eric Embry that night and probably had one of the best matches that I've ever had in my whole life. It reminds me of a passage of scripture that comes from Jeremiah 18, 1 through 6. It's a story of God telling Jeremiah to go to the potter's house and he would teach him a great lesson. When he got there, he saw the potter working with clay, and after he finished the vessel that he was making, the scripture says that the vessel was flawed in the hands of the potter. And so he simply squished the clay back together again and put it back on the wheel and made it into a new vessel. And then God said to Jeremiah, "Cannot I do the same thing with you as the potter has done with the clay? Or as the clay is in the hands of the potter, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel." Well, I can tell you that there was a point in my life where I recognized that everything I had done was wrong, and I was going down the wrong road. And I'll never forget that night in September of 1973 when I got beside my bed, my dormitory bed in West Palm Beach, and I prayed and asked God to forgive me. And God took that flawed human being that was on his knees and picked him up and put him on the wheel and made him into a new vessel. And I've got great news for you, because he can do the same thing with you if you've messed up your life. And that, my friends, is a blessing to teach you a lesson. God bless you.